Comedian and actor Brian T. Shirley is busy being involved with a lot of local films, including The Third Party. I talk one-on-one with Brian about his role in this movie for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Brian T. Shirley, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Hey, man, good to see you. It's been a while. A lot going on.
A lot going on.
Congrats on all your success, by the way. Me and Dad, Larry Shirley, who you had on, he says hello, and
thank you.
He was excited to hear that I'm going to be back on here again. He said, "Hey, man, Quintin wants to have me on. I'll come on." He's, more of the private citizen these days, but he's still busy as heck, man.
Oh, yes. And so are you, because I know you reached out to me to see if we could actually talk about all the local films here in the Low Country that are going on locally. And I know, and I should mention that obviously you are a comedian and a well-known actor, but you actually have a part in The Third Party, which was filmed locally with a local film production company, Shadow Moss Productions, as a matter of fact. And they have local crews and actors. As a matter of fact, I know that you are playing chief of staff to a senator running for president, which is ironic.
Right.
So tell me, why this movie? Why now?
Well, this movie actually started over 4 years ago before COVID, and we were filming what was supposed to be a pilot or a proof of concept. Adrian Roman, the director of this, who is Shadow Moss Entertainment, he put together this script. I had done some other stuff with him as background, basically, and he gave me a chance to step up to the plate. So that's the big reason I did this. And once I got into the script and everything, I really loved the character of Doc Stamper. That's who I'm playing. And man, it was real natural. I mean, obviously, I've never been a chief of staff. I've never really been involved in politics, but the character, I just fell in love with playing this guy. And so we finished it earlier this year, I believe, and got it out before the election because it really deals with things that are going on right now. It's a script over 4 years ago, and a lot of the things that are in it are so pertinent to right now. And COVID stopped production. Then we went on, we did Oak on the Outside, another feature film that I got to do with Adrian, and I play a detective in that and had a supporting role, day player, really.
Yes.
I was just there for one day, but still a big scene. And then Doc, this one, we finished, we went ahead, he rewrote a lot of it, and we did it again. And man, I have not had that much screen time until recently. I did one of those TV reenactment shows called For My Man. Had a lot of screen time on that recently. But I got a lot of face time on this one, and it was good. I got to stretch my acting muscles, a lot of dialogue, and just something I needed to move my career forward.
So when you got that particular role as chief of staff, what more did you learn about politics in that role?
Not much, really. I mean, I learned some of the jargon and inner stuff because, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, my dad was city councilman for 20 years. So even though I wasn't in politics, I knew a lot because through him. I mean, I met everybody from Joe Riley to, I actually went and saw Strom Thurmond give a speech because of the old man, because of my dad. And, played Strom Thurmond in a short film called The Senator about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe a little longer. And so, I mean, I learned really more of the inner workings of politics than anything else. It is a dirty, dirty business. It is really cutthroat, which we all know. But when you start to see it, and act it out and everything, it's really touches you. It's like, dang, man, I can't believe people go into this and actually want to do this,
Oh, yes. And I know a lot of, I've interviewed a lot of those politicians on Quintin's Close-Ups for the past 12 years of doing this. But talk to me about the dialogue. How did that change you from an acting standpoint?
Oh, just being able to immerse myself in this character. After a while, you become the dialogue. I learned that There was a particular scene that we shot before COVID, and the scene changed because of the way he shot it. If you see the original pilot for it, we were at a long table shooting this scene, and I had certain lines I had to do, and then that got changed out because some of the actors we used in this updated version are not there. We didn't have as big a cast for some of the scenes, and that was a learning experience because he said, all right, I want you to do the scene the exact same way you did it 4 years ago. And it was tough.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like, oh, well, that's easy.
Right.
No, the situation was different.
Right.
I know it sounds weird, but I delivered the lines sitting down at a big table with a bunch of people the first time. The second time, I was standing up with only two other actors, the main actor and my buddy Ashley O'Neill. And I don't know. There's a funny story behind that. It's just I had a tough time getting it. And I actually started cracking this guy up because I was changing the way I said it because he kept saying, no, you didn't do it the same way. And I'm going, he actually took me into his room, the director, and had me watch the scene from 4 years ago. See? And then he had the other guy, yeah, you come here too. See, this is how you did yours. We're going, but that's part of the learning process, and acting is not fun or easy sometimes. But that's why it's work, but that's where you learn.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I really learned a lot. And the dialogue, if you read, well, you can't read it, but if you watch, because I'm so used to reading scripts, I say read it. If you watch Oak on the Outside, and then you watch The Third Party or vice versa, you kind of catch how he writes dialogue. And that's the neat thing I'm starting to learn as an actor is knowing the movies of different directors and how, there's similarities in their movies. And because I remarked to somebody, I said, man, this dialogue reminds me of The Blood Thins and Oak on the Outside. And somebody said, duh, it's the same, writer, director. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's one thing you learn too, that each director has his own flavor. And if you can fit into that flavor, that's how you get the role, really. Or if he can see you fitting into, his world.
Right. So what was the flavor for the director for this particular movie?
Sorry, the wind blew, so I didn't catch it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, but then I thought I had a background noise initiative here. But let me ask you, what was the flavor of the director for this particular movie?
Oh, okay. His is kind of a sarcastic reality. And I noticed with his dialogue, it's biting sometimes, but it has a way of working in humor at the same time too. And it's very real. This is very real dialogue. It doesn't really go over the top a lot, which I like, because if I'm going over the top, I'd rather be in a comedic or a horror movie, to be honest. If I'm playing drama like this is, it's a political drama.
Right.
I like it being as real as possible. But still bringing emotion and everything, because I'm having to tell this guy, hey, you can't leave the party. Here's what the reality is, and his character is kind of agreeing on the outside. I don't want to give a lot away.
Right.
But and that dynamic, but you got to act. What's really going on with the characters, but you don't when you're in the character. You understand? Yes. So that's what I like about Adrian when he writes. It's very real, and the words are real, and it's sometimes when you're doing somebody else's dialogue, because I write my own stuff too. That can be tough, because you're going, well, I don't know if I would do it that way, but that's his world. So you got to be part of that. And picking up on that with Doc was easy, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So what comedic abilities did you bring to this particular film?
I think a little bit of his trying to make light of situations, and Doc Doc is very serious because this is a very serious situation, but Doc tries to kind of lighten it up here and there. But when Doc gets serious, there's no, it's look, this is what we got to do. But, to go into the conversation, Doc is usually a little bit, oh, really? Okay. He's kind of like, all right, let's start. It's almost like when you see somebody give a speech and they want to tell a joke at the beginning, just to kind of lighten the mood.
Right.
That's kind of how Doc is. He comes into it, all right, kind of light. Let's goof off a little bit, but then boom, let's get down to business. And I like that.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of characters, Brian, what other characters from this particular movie kind of resembles you as an actor overall?
I've been playing detective a lot lately. I'm a detective in Oak on the Outside. I'm a detective in American Detective. Funny enough, and I'm a detective in For My Man, and that's a different mindset altogether. That's I'm in control. Because I play lead detective a lot because I'm older, and that's where I kind of put on I'm in control. We got to get this. We got to figure out what's going on with this case. So that's a different. And I'm a detective in Surviving the Cartel as well. So it's funny how you start. And I don't mind being typecast. That doesn't bother me at all. But it's funny how you start developing this kind of. But the character changes a little bit. Even though it's a detective, it's still. I have to mold him to whatever project I'm in, but every role you learn, and then you bring whatever you learn from that role to the next, if it fits. If nothing else, you prepare for that role, and then you learn how to prepare better every time. You're doing it, and so that's the other thing I've learned over all these is prep and research and trying to feel that character and try to feel what the director wants me to, do with that character.
So how did you feel out what the director wanted for this particular film?
That's funny because sometimes I didn't. I remember one day I came to the set. All right, got it. Here's how this guy works. And we did the scene and Adrian said, cut. That is totally not the way I saw this guy. So I was like, oh man. So I had to totally switch everything around. And I know, hopefully Adrian sees this and knows that, whatever friction we had is, that's just more. And then he knows. Yeah. I do. There is friction on a set sometimes. And I think it's because everybody wants to be best. I mean, if it's friction because you think you're better than everybody else or whatever, that's different. I think sometimes there is friction because everybody wants this to be the best it can be, which is good friction because I think that's the learning friction. That's the friction that, you want on a set a little bit, So that was kind of, how that happened. But we got through it. Actually, the scene got cut. And it had, and it had nothing to do with what I did. It was something else. But I think you have to envision what the character is. Sometimes you kind of have to throw out what you think the director wants. Yeah. Because if you kind of go too much that way, you might miss it. So I say, look, do what you can with the character as far as but leave some space because you're going to come in with the character and the director is going to go, okay, but really I want this. So you gotta, that's what I learned off of that particular scene was, I should have left a little bit of wiggle room in my head for this guy and not been married so much to what I thought. And so that's what I try to do from this point forward is, all right, here's what I think, but when I get on set, it's probably going to change. At least a little bit it will. I mean, that's just how it is. Because once again, you're trying to fit into that world that this director has built. Right. And there's other actors that have built their characters. So you've got, it's got to make sense with that too.
So how long did it take you to build your character for this film?
Well, 4 years basically. I mean, it took, I had them pretty much down,
Right.
and then the script did change a little bit, over the course of COVID and all, getting back into it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I really had Doc down pretty
Yeah.
well. It's just the different scenes. How was Doc feeling in each particular scene? And really, like I said, it was kind of easy because the way Adrian writes
Right.
and the story, and being in it 4 years off and on, obviously. But once I knew the material pretty well. I mean, I could almost, we're on the set doing a scene cut, and then I would go to some guy. No, your line is such and such, because now I'm starting to know other people's line, which you
Right.
want to know as much as possible anyway.
Sure.
So that helps when you know the other characters as well as possible too. And let me just say this:
Yes, sir.
the lead character, Treg Monty, played Senator Ted Stewart. And folks, please check out this film, because there are so many good actors in this film that don't get the recognition I think they deserve. And Treg Monty is one of them. My good friend Langley Cornwell's in it too. She had a minor role. And then Ernst is in it. Ernst Gass, he's on his way up. And Rachel Pasavius, I can't really say her last name. She'll hit me later. There are so many, Scott is in it. He's also a producer. He plays the antagonist. I mean, there are so many great local actors in this film that need recognition. And you'll probably, if you watch it, you'll probably go, especially with Treg, you'll say, oh, I've seen him. Well, he's been in Perkins commercials. Or Langley, well, she's been in all kinds of healthcare commercials.
Yeah.
And Rachel's is starting to really explode too. So, yeah, please, especially in the Low Country, because you'll watch this and Oak on the Outside, by the way. If you watch both, you'll be going, oh, I was at that restaurant, or, because some of these scenes are shot in Columbia, I believe.
Huh.
But a lot are shot in the Low Country, but they're on closed sets. So, at people's houses and things.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
So when can we see this particular movie?
You can see it right now, and Oak on the Outside. They're on Amazon Prime.
Oh, good.
Tubi, Tubi. You know about Tubi?
I've heard a lot about it on Facebook, but I haven't watched the actual platform yet.
If you have a Roku, either the TV or the app, you can just add Tubi.
Huh.
Just go in there and search TUBI, and the platform will pop up. Okay. There's also something called Fawsome, FAWESOME. That has a lot of genres. It's just like Tubi, but it's it's a different platform. Wow. It's got drama, horror, sci-fi. Fawsome horror, Fawsome sci-fi. So this is Fawsome drama, and then there's a new one called Reveal, REVEEL. And that's a new, that one probably people haven't heard of, but it's on there too. So it's, it's growing. It's, maybe we'll be on more. I don't know.
Yes.
Adrian's trying to get it promoted and distributed as wide as possible. But he took it off YouTube, because once you get on the platforms, you kind of want to, stay on there. Right. But Oak on the Outside has got over 800,000 views on YouTube. So you can check it out for free on YouTube if you want to see Oak on the Outside on YouTube. But, so this is Low Country, man. This is the Low Country. Shadow Moss Productions is doing this out of the Charleston area. He lives in Mount Pleasant. And he's got another one called The Blood Thins, which is prior to any of this. So that one's going to be 4 or 5 years old now, maybe 6. And it's all over, So it's just great that people are learning about something here locally that is really national now, because of all these different platforms.
Well, what have you learned more about the Low Country being in these particular films?
Well, some of the places I've gone to that I've never seen before. I mean, Oak on the Outside, way out, we shot it at a farm way out in the country, I think up 41, I believe, going that direction, which is still the low country.
Right.
And so that's part of what I learned. You know, some of the sites that I've never been to on some of these sets. You know, we shot The Blood Thins out at the Isle of Palms, I believe, in one of the this beautiful house right on like the marsh. You know,
Yes.
you see the beginning of the film, and there's this drone shot going over the marsh into the house,
Right.
and it's like, oh, this is, you know, and that house was really cool, and he rented that. It was somebody else's house, and I guess they let him use it, you know, maybe as a B&B, Airbnb or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was a beautiful set. Wow, that was beautiful because it's at the edge. You know how you go to the Isle of Palms and you take the road all the way down.
Sure.
That's what it was. It was way to the end, and then I didn't really go to any of the bar setups for the third party because I wasn't in any of those scenes. My character wasn't there, but you know, there's a couple that I've seen on that and Oak on the Outside, and I'm thought, oh, I need to go there some point, but I haven't yet because they look like cool little bars and such, and they're all here locally.
Right. Absolutely. Obviously, you've done so many genres. So, which one do you want to play next as an actor?
Sci-fi is really hard in my head right now. I really want to do a sci-fi, and if it kind of spills over into horror, that would be even better. You know, like Alien or something like that. I love it when those genres kind of merge.
And they do.
Yeah, I want to do and hopefully not too cheesy, but I love cheesy too, so it doesn't matter. I watch a lot of B movies.
Sure.
But yeah, I'd love to do a sci-fi horror. I mean, that would be awesome.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, I just take what I get, you know. I mean, I think we all do, until you get big enough, and then, you know, hey, you look at your agent and go, hey, find me a horror movie, you know. I wish I could do that, but not yet.
It'll happen soon.
But yeah, I want to do sci-fi and horror. It's a huge genre too, because you know people are going to watch it.
Sure.
I mean, it's just one of those things. It's hard to sell a drama, you know. A lot of people watch them, but you know that one is tough to promote marketing wise. I think because, you know, there's no monsters jumping out at you or any action. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the trailer is, you know, okay, it's a drama.
Right. But, man, I hope we get to that soon. Well, comedian, actor, Brian T. Shirley, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups. Yeah. You can check me out this September 12th. God's Not Dead is coming out. In God We Trust. Nationally, I was in it briefly, featured background, but there's a fun story behind that about the theater that we shot it in Sumter. That was shot in Sumter. And I'll be at the Coastal Carolina Fair doing the one of the beer gardens November 6th. I'll be doing stand up there for a senior group. So if you've got some older folks, send them my way. I don't have the info on that yet. And I have a local ad coming out for Morelli Heating and Air. And I don't know when, you know, I don't know where, if it's going to be on YouTube or whatever. But anyway, I play a weatherman. So there's a different role. But yes, I play a weatherman in this local ad. So I'm excited about that. That was fun to shoot too. But if you want to check out my stuff, go to Spark TV. You can that's online, and you can put in Brian T. Shirley. I got a film on there called The Mark that we shot here, short. It's only 5 minutes. And then I got an animated piece that I did called Bingleton Socks Out of This World. It's got aliens in it. So I did do my sci-fi, but you know, I'd like to do a major one. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, I thank you so much for your time here on Quintin's Close-Ups again.
Thanks for having me, man. It was great to see you and talk to you again.
Likewise.